Hey, good morning, Attack the Rack fans. This is the Attack the Rack YouTube channel, and this is the Attack the Rack Monday morning live show. Thank you so much for joining us today. Reminder, we go live every Monday morning at 7 a.m. to kick off your week, talking about the weekend that was in sports. If you have a half a second and you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please click subscribe. That does a ton to help us out here. It's a free and quick, easy way to help support the channel, support the Attack the Rack Sports Media Company. Also, just a reminder of what we got going on every week. Monday morning, we kick it off when we going live at 7 a.m. Obviously, this does then upload as a video, so you can watch it at your convenience. Also, then Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night around 7 p.m., we have our daily lineup show where we talk about the absolute latest in sports. And then Saturday morning, 9 a.m., we have the Attack the Rack podcast with myself and Big Mo. And then throughout the week, we post other random videos here or there. So make sure you're always checking out, keeping up on the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. You can hit the notification bell. That will let you know every time that we do post something. All right, so let's jump into this past weekend. Probably the top story, obviously, is the Olympics opening ceremonies Friday. U.S. women's soccer team already off to a 2-0 start. Yesterday, though, U.S. men's basketball had their first game. Started out just a little bit slow. They're playing against Serbia, who probably is their toughest competition in the entire Olympics. Obviously, they feature the Joker, probably arguably the best player in the world. As much as I am not a fan of LeBron James, honestly, in my opinion, and even watching him play yesterday, I think he's still the best player in the world, honestly. I really do. Not a fan, but got to give credit where credit's due. But yeah, a lot of people think Joker is the best player in the world, and that is who the U.S. played against yesterday. Joker and Serbia. They also have a couple other NBA guys on their team. They played really well right off the bat. Built up, I don't know, they probably got up by about 8 or 9 points early on, and then Joker went to the bench. And was it late first quarter and then into the second quarter, and the U.S. went on a 13-0 run as soon as he went to the bench, and then it was all U.S. From there, they went on to win 110-84, and what a game! Well, what a first half for Kevin Durant. He went 8 for 8 in the first half, 21 points all in the first half. Finished with 23, only got a couple shots in the second half, but what a performance from him. Didn't even start the game, came off the bench, and again, 8 for 8 in the first half, several of those being threes. LeBron, he had 21, and again, he looked like, again, in my opinion, best player in the world, unstoppable. I feel like he can get to the rim whenever he wants. Sometimes I think he's too unselfish, though, and does look to get his teammates involved, which is a good thing. But sometimes, being unselfish actually hurts the team. I just think he's unstoppable. I think he can get to the rim whenever he wants. Kind of some fallout from the game, though. Jason Tatum did not step on the floor one time, did not play at all. 0 seconds of playing time. Kind of shocking. I think some people, had even thought maybe he was going to start. Certainly would be in any sort of 8-man rotation. Just coming off the winning the NBA championship. A lot of people think he's a top 5 player in the league. Kind of interesting that he didn't play. Doesn't seem to be any injury, any illness. Steve Kerr after the game called himself, I believe he used the word, an idiot for not playing him. So quite shocking that he didn't play. I don't know. We'll see. That's really interesting because, you got to think, no matter who the U.S. puts on the floor, they should literally dominate. And I know that the rest of the world is significantly catching up to America in terms of basketball. And some of the best players in the world play for other teams. Obviously, Joker with Serbia. Luka Doncic, he's one of the best players in the world. He's not even in the Olympics. His team didn't qualify. But again, some think he's the best player in the world. So we've got plenty of, guys you can argue that are in the top 5, top 10 in the world playing for other teams. But what those teams don't have is 12 NBA guys like the United States team does. And you saw that yesterday with Serbia, right? They're playing great. They even have a lead. And then as soon as their one stud goes to the bench, U.S. takes over, goes on a 13-0 run, and it's all USA from there. So, I think a lot of people like to think that the USA will be challenged and should be challenged. I don't really believe that. I think as long as they care enough to win and play hard enough to win, they should easily beat anyone. And again, that's not a knock against the other teams in the world. It's just the other teams in the world at most have 3 or 4 NBA guys. USA has 12. So, again, they should dominate. And I think yesterday they kind of proved that because I'm pretty sure Serbia is probably their best competition. Canada might be pretty good. Anybody else I'm missing, feel free to leave in the comments. That could give the U.S. a run for their money. And that kind of takes me back to my point about Jason Tatum. Like, what's the point of not playing somebody? It does. No matter who you put on the floor, you're still going to be successful. I feel like one of the keys to this whole thing is keeping everybody healthy, right? You don't want to have anyone sustain an injury that will then affect them going into the NBA season this fall. So I think you kind of want to try to navigate minutes, limit minutes for everybody as much as you can. And you can easily even out the minutes and still be successful. So the fact that in Tyrese Halliburton, he didn't step on the floor either. But, Jason Tatum, again, arguably a top 5 player. Very, very strange that he did not play at all. So we'll see what happens when they play again. Speaking of basketball, USA women, they have their first game today, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time against Japan. I did mention U.S. women, they're 2-0 now in soccer. They beat Germany yesterday, 4-1. Gymnastics had qualifying round yesterday. U.S. had the highest score in the team qualification. Individually, Simone Biles, despite having a leg injury, we'll see how that plays out. That's a little bit nerve-wracking for her team, and for the U.S. Olympic team. Sounds like she had a pretty nasty leg injury, but she still competed, still had the highest all-around score for the individual, and first woman in Olympic competition to land a triple vault. So pretty cool there. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if she's healthy enough. Obviously, in the last Olympics, she had I don't think it was necessarily vertigo, but something along those lines where when she would do her flips in the air, she'd kind of lose touch with where she was. So hopefully she's all good, and will be able to compete going forward and win some gold medals. So today's Monday, Thursday. So 4 days away, we got our first NFL preseason game. Chicago Bears versus the Houston Texans. Should be interesting. We'll see if, Bears new quarterback, Caleb Williams, we'll see if he gets any playing time in that one. Texans, CJ Stroud, second year for him. What an incredible rookie season he had. We'll see if he gets any snaps. Probably not. The preseason, after going down from 4 games to 3 a couple years ago, after adding one regular season game, going from 16 to 17 games. The preseason as a whole has kind of been navigated quite differently by the NFL teams. Prior to that change, they would have 4 games, preseason games, which probably is too much. But they had 4 preseason games and then 16 regular season games. Now, again, they have 3 preseason, 17 regular. So how they used to navigate those games is the starters would at least play the first drive in the first couple games, and then in that third game, they would play the whole first half typically. Now they maybe don't even take any snaps in the preseason at all, which I don't have a problem with. I think you want to keep them healthy. You have plenty of practice action. A lot of teams, they scrimmage other teams throughout the weeks. So they have plenty of kind of game action. They're all typically, unless they're a rookie, they all know what they're doing. They all understand how game day works and everything like that. So I don't really have a problem with that, but it does obviously make it less exciting for the fans to watch. I have an idea what the NFL should do. I have an idea. I think they should expand the 17 now to 18 games, play 18 regular season games, only have 1 preseason game, and have that 2 weeks before week 1. And with that game, they can do a dress rehearsal, make sure all your new guys, make sure everybody knows this is what we do on game day. This is our schedule on game day, and just do 1 preseason game. And then prior to that, maybe you take 2 weekends, right? 2 weekends during training camp, a Saturday and a Sunday. Start at noon on a Saturday, go till like 8 p.m. Same thing on Sunday. And you have like maybe 4 sites across the country where 8 teams are at each of these sites. And they just do different types of scrimmages, simulate different things, throughout the game, what you would see in a game. And then they just televise that. And you can watch it on NFL Network or ESPN or both, and you're just constantly hopping around from one scrimmage to the other, being able to kind of watch, kind of like what they do with golf, where they're hopping around. I think that would be pretty cool. Probably less chance of injuries doing things like that, and then they can get that 18th game that they so desperately want. So. Thursday night Hall of Fame game, Bears, Texans. Probably, I'm sure what I'll do, the same thing I do every year with the NFL preseason is all day long. I'm super excited to watch some NFL football. And then when the game comes along, start watching it and get bored pretty quick. Again, because you're not seeing the starters, you're not seeing the superstars play. But again, that's the Hall of Fame game, so that's kind of coincides with this year's NFL Hall of Fame. Bears and Texans both are represented in the Hall of Fame this year. Texans have former star wide receiver Andre Johnson, and I'm trying to think if there's any other Houston Texans in the Hall of Fame, or is he the first? Let me know in the comments if there's any other Houston Texans in the NFL Hall of Fame. But the Bears have a couple of guys going in. Started with Steve McMichael, classic 80s Chicago Bears, 85 Bears, Super Bowl team. And then you got Devin Hester, who's probably the best return man in the history of the NFL. And then you also got Julius Peppers, who played for the Bears for a little bit, all-time great defensive player. So congrats to those guys and everybody else that's getting into the Hall of Fame this year. And with that being said, preseason, obviously kind of boring, but we are just 40 days away from kickoff of the first regular season NFL game, week 1. That is Thursday, September 5. Ravens at the Chiefs. That should be a great game to kick off the season. 2, probably the favorites in the AFC battling it out. Obviously, last year's Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. And then the very next night, I think this is new now, the very next night, Friday night, September 6th, we get another game, and that'll be the Packers at the Eagles. Eagles trying to jump back from, 2 seasons ago. They had a really good year. Last year, not so much. Jalen Hurts 2 years ago, phenomenal season. Last year, not so much. So they're trying to bounce back. And then the up-and-coming Packers, Jordan Love, up and down kind of last season, but second half of the season, mostly up. A lot of people are high on him. They can maybe even challenge the Lions in the NFC North. So should be a good game there too. All right. That will about do it. But we do have a couple birthday shout outs this week. Just a reminder, if you have a birthday shout out that you want me to talk about next week, so anyone has a birthday, this past week or coming up the following week, you can just email us at attacktherack3333@gmail.com. I will then give that person a birthday shout out along with people they share a birthday with. So let's start July 22 last week. Tom Van Hecken. Happy birthday to Tom Van Hecken. July 22, obviously a family member and member of our fantasy football league. I know Tom is getting super excited for the NFL Picks show coming up this fall, which also features a couple guys from our fantasy football league, Peter Hunsberger and Chad Zagar. Every week, Sunday morning of each week, we put out a show where Peter and Chad give 3 of their NFL picks for the day. Pete also gives some prop bets. So we'll be doing that again this fall every week. And I know Tom is super excited for that. Tom, July 22, what a handful of birthdays he shares that day with. Starting with Alex Trebek, longtime host of Jeopardy, recently passed away. Also actors Danny Glover, David Spade. Got quite a few. Let's see. Athletes, Keyshawn Johnson, longtime NFL wide receiver. Sonny Liston, famous boxer. Tim Brown, NFL. Ezekiel Elliott, NFL. I think that's it for athletes. And then actress/singer Selena Gomez. I think she's an actress too. Maybe she's just a singer. I think she's both. Anyway, Selena Gomez shares a birthday with you, Tom. Also, the famous funk musician George Clinton, Don Henley from the Eagles, and the great R&B legend, Mr. Keith Sweat. So, Tom, you have quite a few people that you share a birthday with on July 22. And then coming up here in 2 days, we got a birthday on July 31. Another family member, another fantasy football league member. That is Andy Van Hecken. Andy has been a guest on the Attack the Rack podcast in the past. I know he is also super excited for the NFL Pick Show coming up this fall. Andy, July 31, shares a birthday with Mark Cuban, obviously famous businessman, former owner of the Dallas Mavericks. A little bit confusing. I don't know if he sold all his shares or if he's still a minority owner. I'm not sure, but used to be the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. Also frequent guest on the show Shark Tank. NFL player, legend, defensive player Kevin Green. Also, former NFL player, former Detroit Lion, former Heisman Trophy winner, Andre Ware, quarterback out of the University of Houston. His birthday also is July 31. What else we got here? Fat Boy Slim, famous DJ producer, J.K. Rowling, famous author, I believe wrote the Harry Potter books. And then Dean Cain. Dean Cain, actor. Dean Cain played Superman in the TV series. So also Andy shares a birthday with quite a few people. So happy birthday, Tom. Hope it was a great day. Happy birthday, early birthday, Andy. Hopefully you have a phenomenal birthday coming up on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. Again, if you have any birthday shout outs you'd like for me to announce here on the program, hit me up. Attack the Rack 3333 at gmail.com. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you again next Monday morning at 7 a.m.